Okay friends, today we are going to see Euclidean geometry part 3 of 25 angles at one vertex. Okay, so a vertex is commonly known as a corner, and complementary angles are two angles which add together to make 90 degrees. Let's move on to example. Given AB perpendicular to BC, determine with reasons the angle X. You are given this. You are given AB perpendicular to BC. Determine with reasons the angle X. Determine X. So from this, the angle X plus 42 degrees, this is equal to 90 degrees. Okay, 90 degrees perpendicular, 90 degrees. And the reason is complementary angles, or you can say angles of a right angle. This is right angle. We use the L shape for right angle. So the reason for this can be complementary angles, or you can say angles. This is angles of a right angle. Okay, you can give this reason or this reason. We carry on. Now X is equal to 90 degrees. You take this to the right. Now you have minus 42. This is equal to 48. Okay, so the angle X is equal to 48 degrees. Okay, let's move on to another example. You are given AB perpendicular to BC. Determine with reasons the angle Y. You are given this. Okay, AB perpendicular to BC. Determine the angle Y. Okay, so from this, the angle Y plus 24 degrees plus 26 degrees, this is equal to 90 degrees. So this is 90 degrees. You have three angles. Okay, three angles equal to 90 degrees. Okay, so the reason is angles of a right angle. Okay, angles of a right angle. We carry on. The angle Y is equal to 90 degrees minus 24 minus 26. This is equal to, this is minus 50. Okay, minus 50. So you have 90 minus 50. You are going to have 40. Okay, 40 degrees. Okay, so do not use complementary angles for this. Okay, as your reason. Complementary angles, you can use this reason only when you have a sum of two angles equal to 90 degrees. You have three angles equal to 90 degrees. This is why you don't have to use this. Complementary angles means two angles. Okay, two angles which add together to make 90 degrees. So this can only hold when you have two, not more than two. You have three. You can only use this as your reason. So in this example, you have two options. You can use this or this as your reason. But in this one, since you have more than two angles, you can only use this. Do not say complementary angles. Okay, this can only hold when you have two angles. Okay, I hope you understand. Now let's move on. Now we are going to see supplementary angles. Okay, supplementary angles are two angles which add together to make 180 degrees. Let's see an example. You are given the following diagram. You are given this diagram. Now determine with reasons the angle Z and the angle W. Okay, determine with reasons Z and W. Let me get my highlighter. Okay, I'm going to use the highlighter. So determine with reasons the angle Z and the angle W. Okay, let's determine Z first. So can you see this is Z? you can use the line AB to determine Z. Okay, you can use this line. Let me get my highlighter. You can use this line AB to determine Z, because you know the angles on this straight line, the sum is equal to 180 degrees. Okay, angles on a straight line. So Z, the angle Z plus 135 degrees, this is equal to 180 degrees, because this is a straight line. All the angles on a straight line, their sum is equal to 180 degrees. So the reason for this can be supplementary angles. Okay, this is how you can write supplementary angles, because you have two of them. Okay, or you can say angles on a straight line. Okay, angles on a straight line. So let's carry on. Now Z, the angle Z is equal to 180 degrees minus 135. You are going to get 45 degrees. Okay, so the angle Z is equal to 45 degrees. Now let's determine the angle W. The angle W. Okay, let me erase this. Can you see the angle W? I can use the line CF, this line. Let me show you. I can use this line CF to determine the angle W. Can you see? I've got this, and this on this straight line. So the angle W plus 73 plus 27, this is equal to 180 degrees, because this is a straight line. Angles on a straight line, their sum is equal to 180 degrees. The reason will be angles on a straight line. So we carry on. The angle W is equal to 180 degrees minus this. This is 100. Okay, 73 plus 27. This is 100. You take it to the right. Now you have minus 100. So you are going to have 180 minus 100. You are going to get 80. Okay, 80 degrees. Remember, do not use supplementary angles as your reason. Supplementary angles can only be used when you have a sum of two angles equal to 180 degrees. Only when you have two angles, as in this case. Okay, now conjugate angles. Okay, conjugate angles are two angles which add together to make an angle of 360 degrees. And another word for conjugate angles is complementary angles. Okay, let's move on to example. Determine with reason the angle O2. You are given this. Determine with reason the angle O2, this angle. Okay, from this O1 plus O2, this is equal to 360 degrees. The reason is you can say conjugate angles because you have two of them, or you can say angles around a point. Let's carry on. Now O2, we have to determine O2. O2 is equal to 360 degrees minus O1. Okay, you take O1 to the right, minus O1. O1 is equal to 195 degrees. This is equal to 165 degrees. Let's see another example. Determine with reason the angle A. You are given this. So the angle A plus 105 plus this is 90 degrees. Okay, this is 90 degrees. You have this line perpendicular to this line. So this is 90 degrees. This is equal to 360 degrees. Okay, 360 degrees. And the reason is angles around a point. Okay, angles around a point. Their sum is equal to 360 degrees. So the angle A is equal to 360 minus 105 minus 90. Okay, the angle A is equal to, you are going to get 165. Okay, 165 degrees. Do not use conjugate angles in this example as your reason. Conjugate angles can only be used when you have a sum of two angles equal to 360. Okay, let's move on. Now, adjacent angles are two angles that are side by side and share a common vertex and a common side. Example, okay, some examples of adjacent angles. You have B and C. Okay, this is another example. This is another example. So the angle B and the angle C are adjacent angles. If I can say this in simple English, adjacent angles are angles that are next to each other. Okay, opposite angles are the angles directly opposite each other where two lines intersect. Opposite angles are also called vertical angles. Okay, so vertically opposite angles are equal to each other. Now, if you have two lines, okay, two lines intersecting, let's call this angle A. This angle A is equal to this angle C. Let's call it C. So these are vertical angles and they are opposite. Okay, you can also choose this. Let's call it B. Angle B is equal to angle D. Okay, they are vertical, they are opposite. So angle A is equal to angle C. Okay, angle A is equal to angle C. The reason is vertically opposite angles. Okay, vertically opposite angles. This is the reason. And angle B is equal to angle D. Okay, angle B is equal to angle D. The reason is vertically opposite angles. Okay, so this is what I have for part 3 of 25.